Hi everyone. Today we're going to learn about hierarchy of biological organization. Still we are in chapter 1. So today's lesson is actually continuation from the previous lesson. So in previous lesson you learn about the introduction to biology, branches in biology and characteristics of life. So before we learn about hierarchy of biological organization, let me do a small recap about the previous lesson. So what is biology? Biology means scientific study of life. And then there are many branches in biology you learn, such as the taxonomy, ecology, biotechnology, biochemistry, zoology, botany, and etc. So you remember for the branches, you should know the branches in biology together with their definition. Then you also learn about the history of the cell and also together with the modern cell theory. So based on the modern cell theory, all the living organisms compose of cells. It can be one or many cells. And then the cell is the functional unit in the living organisms. Then the third one is the cells, they form from the pre-existing cell by cell division. So these are the three main parts of the modern cell theory you learned. Next, the characteristics of life. So there are 9 major characteristics such as the living organism composed of cells which organized. Second, able to undergo growth and development, able to reproduce, able to respond to the surrounding environment or stimuli. The populations also evolved and adapted to the surrounding environment. The living organisms able to excrete the waste from their body. Next, the living organism able to regulate their metabolic process through homeostasis process. Next, the living organisms able to reproduce. Then the living organisms need to undergo the respiration to get the energy. So these are the 9 major characteristics you learn. So very important. Okay, now we focus about the hierarchy of biological organization. So at the end of today's lesson, you should be able to construct a hierarchy of biological organization by providing the examples at various levels of complexity. So this is the hierarchy of biological organization. Actually, the life can be studied at different levels. The study of life extends from the range of small to large scales. So these levels known as hierarchy of biological organization is a system that consists of combination of components that form a more complex organization. Okay, the level of biological organization starts from atom until biosphere. So based on this hierarchy, atom is the smallest or the microscopic scale, and the biosphere is large or the most complex scale in the hierarchy. So this hierarchy actually can be classified into 3 levels such as chemical level, cellular level, and ecological level. Chemical level means atom until molecules. Cellular level means cells until the organism, and then the ecological level is organism until the biosphere. So you have to know the hierarchy and also you have to know the examples for each of the levels. Okay, atom means element. For example, hydrogen atom, carbon atom, and etc. And then the group of the atoms that make up the molecules. And then the molecules make up the macromolecules such as the DNA, RNA, and etc. So the macromolecule is the one make up the organelles in the cell. So cell is the smallest functional unit of life that have the ability to live and reproduce independently or as part of a multicellular organism. Then the group of the similar cells make up the tissue to carry out one or more particular functions. Then the group of different tissues that work together to perform a particular function to form the organ. And then the group of the organs that make up the organ system. After that, organism. So organism means individual organism or individual species. And the same, a group of organisms or group of similar species that make up the population which live in the same area. For example, all the human living at the particular area. Then the next level is community. Community means the population, different populations that live together in a defined area. For example, in one particular area, there can have human population, trees, grasses, and also other populations. Ecosystem means the community interact with the non-living surrounding environment. For example, the human population, the animals, the trees at one particular area interact with the non-living surroundings such as the air, water, and temperature. So that known as ecosystem. So all the ecosystems on the earth known as biosphere. So these are the hierarchy of biological organization, starting from the atom until the most complex level is biosphere. So the lowest level is atom. But keep in mind that the lowest level and also the functional unit of the living organism is cell. So these are the example of the atom. And then the examples of the molecules such as the carbohydrates, lipids, protein, DNA, and RNA. Then the molecules make up the macromolecule, and the macromolecule make up the organelles in the cell. Okay. So these are the examples of the cells. Next, these are the examples of the tissues in the animals and also the plants. So when you learn about the hierarchy of biological organization, for each level also, you have to remember the examples in the animals and also the examples in the plants. Next, these are the organs. For example, in animals, the organs such as stomach, pancreas, lungs, kidney, heart, brain, and etc. So the organs in the plant, for example, the leaf, flower, fruit. So these are the organs in the plant. Okay, then the organs make up the organ system. For example, in the animals, there are many organ systems such as immune system, nervous system, circulatory system, skeletal system, etc. Another one more thing regarding the systems. Many organs make up the organ systems, not only one organ. So they also involve many organs in the organ systems. Organ systems in plants, there are only two organ systems, such as the shoot system and root system. So these are the examples of the organism. Organism means organism level is actually only one individual organism or one species. Okay, these are the example of population. Okay, there are many trees. So this is the group of the tree population. And this is the example of the communities. So here from the picture, you can see clearly there are fish population, there are tree population, and can have other populations of the animals. So when the community interact with the non-living environment, for example, the air, water, so that known as ecosystem. So here you can see they have the community they interact with the non-living surrounding environment, for example, the water and the air. So this is the ecosystem. So biosphere means all the region on the earth or all the ecosystem on the earth is biosphere. So this is the most complex or the largest scale in the hierarchy of biological organization. Okay. So now I hope all of you well known about the hierarchy and their levels and also the examples. Okay, let's we try to see the hierarchy at the cellular level together with the example. Okay, let's say, so this is the cellular level. Okay, cellular level means starting from the cell until the organism. So for example, let's say you have to construct the hierarchy based on the example that the heart as an organ. So heart as an organ, it means it must be the animal. So the cell is animal cell, and then the tissue in the heart is cardiac tissue, and the cardiac tissue make up the heart, and the heart involved in the cardiovascular system, and then the animal is the organism. Okay, for the plant, let's say the leaf as an organ. So how you can construct the hierarchy based on the leaf? So of course the cell is plant cell, and then the tissue must be the tissues in the leaf, and then the leaf, and then the leaf make up the shoot system, and then the organism is tree. So this is the example how you can apply based on the example you can construct the hierarchy of biological organization. So it is very important. You should know the hierarchy together with their examples. Okay. So this is the example for the plants. Structure and function of living organisms are closely related. For example, the leaf is thin and flat, so that can maximize the capture of the sunlight by the chloroplast in the plants to undergo the photosynthesis process. So these are the examples of the examples in the animals. Thank you.